Hello and welcome back to The Breakaway. If this is your first video with me, please consider subscribing. Today I'm going to show you a strength circuit that I use once a week, aiming to build strength in your core and legs, which will help with transferable power both on the bike and overall core stability. We'll take a look at each of the 6 exercises from a front view and a side view and hit some of the key points for each movement as they're on the screen. With that being said, let's dive into our first exercise. The front squat. This is one of my all-time favorite exercises, since having the barbell racked in front of your chest forces you to engage your core throughout the movement. I'll be using the Smith machine for this exercise, but you can use a freestanding barbell if you have the proper rack. I want your feet to be placed shoulder width apart and ensure that your knees do not bend inwards towards each other as you squat down. The side view highlights 2 key points. First, fight to keep your back vertical and avoid letting the bar pull you forward over your toes. Second, don't let your knees drift out in front of your toes. You can focus on moving your butt out and back past your heels as you go down and drive with your glutes on the way back up. The glute hamstring developer. The glute hamstring developer, or GHD as it's more commonly referred to, is a great exercise for developing glute and hamstring strength, as well as your lumbar support. You can do this with your arms crossed in front of your chest, behind your head for a bit of added difficulty, or with added weight as I'm demonstrating here. The keys to success for this movement is to move slow enough that you feel the burn throughout the entire movement. Notice that you don't need to crank your back upwards so far that you're inducing pain. That's not the pain we're looking for. Only up as far as your mobility is comfortable with. Nice and smooth on the way down too. See how I'm controlling the weight instead of letting the weight throw me around. The hollow hold. I'm convinced that the hollow hold is the gym's equivalent of an FTP test. It's an ever-present pain that only grows with time. But this exercise will do wonders for your core strength. Think of yourself as a banana shape and you only want the small of your back touching the floor. Fight to keep your arms and legs extended and only a few inches off the floor. Again, only the small of your back should be touching the floor, with an engaged core keeping your extended arms and legs elevated. If the hollow hold proves too difficult or your core is getting burnt out, there's no shame in flipping over and completing the remainder of the time in a more traditional front plank. Keep your spine straight and your core and glutes engaged. Focus on your breathing instead of the burn. The side lunge. The side lunge is a simple exercise that you can make as easy or as hard as you'd like by adding or subtracting weight. Try it with just your body weight at first, then add weight as needed to up the difficulty. Keep in mind that a count of 1 means that you step to the left and the right. Left, right, 1. Left, right, 2. Left, right, 3, etc. Just like the front squat, you should always be fighting to keep your spine vertical and preventing your knees from drifting out over your toes. I'm telling you this to prevent back and knee injuries, which can occur due to poor form over time. Think about moving your butt out and back past your heels as you go down and drive with your glutes on the way back up. Proud shoulders the entire time. The diamond push-up. Cyclists don't need huge chests, so we won't spend too much time working this area. But anybody who's tried to hold an aerodynamic position on their hoods or in the drops knows how fatiguing it can be on your forearms, and this exercise will help. For the diamond push-up, touch your pointer fingers and thumbs together on the ground, which will bring your arms together and force you to use more of your triceps to push yourself up than the traditional push-up. Don't let your elbows flare out, and just like the front plank, I want you to focus on keeping your spine straight for the duration of the exercise by engaging your core and glutes. 15 diamond push-ups should provide the right amount of fatigue. The Russian twist. As mentioned during the side lunge, a full left and right movement constitutes 1 count of this exercise. For beginners, make a ball with your fists and use that as the weight. And for those looking for a harder workout, you can grip a weight like a steering wheel, as I'm doing here. Don't cheat yourself by reaching towards the ground with your fists or with the weight. Instead, keep your core and arms engaged and drive the weight with the opposing shoulder. Try to keep your back at a 45-degree angle from the floor and a relaxed bend in your knees. This should start to hurt pretty good around rep 15, especially following the hollow holds you've done earlier. But stay focused as you wrap up the final exercise in this circuit. To recap, we did 10 front squats, 10 GHDs, 2 minutes of the hollow hold or the plank, 10 side lunges, 15 diamond push-ups, and 25 Russian twists. Completing each of those exercises in a row constitutes as one round, and I usually do 5 rounds per gym session, which takes around 30 to 40 minutes. This is only one of my 2 go-to weekly gym strength workouts. I'll be uploading another video soon for the second gym circuit video, so click subscribe if you'd like to be alerted when the follow-up drops. Let's close this out with one of the most important exercises of all: re-racking your weights.